Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Artists and Authors for the 16th of February at centralvalleytalk.com. We're live and local on this Wednesday, the 16th of February. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District Studios. I always do that wrong. There it is. There's Tower Theater. And I'm Austin Reed. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. You know, I used to do weather, and it's been probably about 5 years since I forecasted the weather. But even still, 5 years later, I've totally forgotten how to point at the green screen, you know, because everything's backwards. So, hey, my next guest today is Veronica. Welcome.
Well, and thank you for inviting me. And hi everybody, I'm Veronica Giolli, and I'm here with my book, Whispers in the Wind, which I self-published first, and then a publisher read it and picked it up, and now it's covered in the blue. But if anybody's out there ready to publish, be sure you check the title of your book, because I published Whispers in the Wind, and so did 900 other people. So you want to make sure that it's a title that's not going to be confused. So, but anyhow, I love my book. I love my characters. It's a little different. It's about Native American families, and I take it from the modern through Reno casinos to the Sweat Lodge, and you know, just sitting at the dinner table, laughing and fighting and arguing and yeah, just life. And this book I didn't have to research on, because a lot of this comes from my history. And my friend had committed suicide, and so did my husband. And it leaves you with a lot of unanswered questions. And so when I did this book, I just went through different things that have happened. And I wanted to fictionalize it just to give it an ending, you know, a closure. And so that's what I did. I have the fraud investigator is Sunny Davis, and she gets word that her best friend has committed suicide, and so she goes back to the reservation, her reservation that she grew up on, and she finds a lot of different things that don't add up. She's also very psychic and has visions, and Sunny's friend Gina will come to her in the vision and wants to know what happened and where she's at and what's going on, and she wants peace, and that's what Sunny tries to do. She also finds that herself is put in jeopardy, and her life is in jeopardy. Also, there's a lot of different characters. Evil Eva, that's Gina's sister, who's in love with Gina's husband. And there's papers that have been found, and Sunny found some papers, and through the book, she's putting this puzzle together because she don't know what it is. It could be a suicide note. It could be a grocery list. It could be anything from the children, you know. And so,
Tell me a little bit. You know, I love Native American culture. I lived in New Mexico. I was a reporter up in the northern New Mexico newsroom, kind of at the four corners of New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, and Utah. And I lived on the Navajo Nation.
oh,
And one of my best friends and coworkers died. He was full Navajo about a year and a half ago, which was super hard. So rest in peace, Bronson. But Native American culture is just so freaking cool. I love it.
well, this book takes place 100 miles on the other side of Reno, which is Shores, and it's Walker River Reservation. And that's what I used in this book, because my son's uncle happened to be the medicine man for northern Nevada. And so I put put that in the book as I don't use the names, you know.
Yeah.
But that's where when I lived on the insurers, I lived there for 6 months, and my husband and I, and when we wanted to get out of there, we picked worms, and that's how we made our money to go back to Reno.
Interesting.
And yes, and so I have a lot of that in this book, but I love the book. I love the characters. I think everybody will be surprised by the ending of it, and I hope everybody enjoys it and can learn that and understand more of the Indian Native American culture, and I think that they'll get an enjoyment out of it.
Now, as far as the inspiration, what was the main inspiration, you would say?
I think it was the suicide of my friend and my husband, because when that happens, I find that the families are left without any closure, and so that's where I got my inspiration from. Plus, how I started was I retired, and when I retired, I took a class, and I had my story, and I gave it to my teacher, and she said, "Well, what are you writing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm writing a novel." I said, "I've got the whole thing, the beginning, the ending, and the middle." And she said, "Okay, but you might want to have a little more than 12 pages." And so I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm in the wrong place here. So that's what I did, and it took years because I wasn't really going for the publishing novel or anything. I was just writing to have fun with it and enjoy it. And I'm finding that you need help. You need to get into, when you're writing, you need to get into groups, critiquing groups that can edit you and help you along. And that's what happened here with my book. I was in different critiquing groups, and I feel like I've come a long ways, and I'm hoping that others will do that, because you think that you can edit yourself and you can take care, but it's you can look at any book, you pick up any book now, and you'll see mistakes in it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny you say that. My wife bought me a book. It was a short read. It was about the Mandela effect. I don't know if you've heard of that, but and I'm reading it, and literally every other page there are misspellings. The sentences don't make sense, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you even selling this book? You know,
Right.
So yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and you need that. I encourage everybody to see if they can't join a group, if that's what you want to do. If that's your writing, you need the help from other people, because it's just like you say, you'll find that oh my gosh, you know, look at all these mistakes. Yeah. You know, you can go back to even classic books, and now it's hard to read a book, because when I'm reading the book, I'm finding this, you know, then I'm going, okay, I can find mistakes.
You're the grammar Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay, people can get the book online, right? Best way.
My book is on Amazon. My book is on Walmart online.
Okay.
It's on Pace Publishing, and just at Barnes & Noble. Of course, you know, the regular, and it's in all the Fresno libraries and Oakhurst Library. Okay. And so I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, I am. I'm very proud of it. I worked hard, and it just gives me enjoyment. Now I read it, and I'll look through it to find something, and I'm going, oh my gosh, did I write that? And I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going, oh my gosh.
That's so cool. I love it. Any more books to come?
I'm writing a second book, yes, and I'm using some of the same characters.
Okay.
But I'm actually writing 2 books. I have one with the same characters on this one, and also I'm writing about I have They're four elderly women, senior women, and they'd all been abused by their husbands, and they all have gotten away. They joined a book club and found out about each other, and they all have gotten away with doing away with their husbands.
Oh.
And so what they do is they meet when they hear of somebody that's went against their restraining order or whatever, and they go and they draw straws and go out and find out and take care of that person. But the reason that they do this is because they feel that they can get away with it because of the fact, people, you go to a store and you go to the cashier and you're 40 years old, people remember you. Mm-hmm. But when you're 70, 80 years old, they don't even remember you. Mm-hmm. And so this is the premise, is they're all seniors and they have no motive. They have no, the people, they don't know the people. And so that's kind of how it's going.
You'll have to come back right before the book launches. That
well, and two of them come from New York, and their uncle belonged to the mob there, but the mob killed him off. They ran him over with a garbage truck because,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he committed a murder that he didn't have a right to do. And so that's
nice little thriller.
And then the second book is with the Sunny. She's the detective now in San Francisco.
Okay.
And she's coming across murders and accidents, car accidents, and so I'm almost finished with that book. And so, but this book is my baby.
Yep.
This is the one I love, and
Whispers.
I hope everybody will love Whispers in the Wind
by Veronica. How do you say your last name?
Giolli.
Giolli. Oh, that's not even that hard. I was all like stressing out about it. Thank you. Good to meet you.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I'm Austin Reed. This is Artists and Authors. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk soon.